Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Son. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives it a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Hello to all my fans on BPTV, YouTube fans, and of course our Pittsburgh Sportsline fans, all 6,900 plus of you. We're doing a special edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. It's our early edition before our regular scheduled show at 7 o'clock. It's the back-to-back 5A Bethel Park Blackhawk boys baseball champions. I'm honored to have them on here. I'm proud of them. We're doing this for all of you in Bethel Park. Great community, great support. What a day it was. And I'm going to start with the head coach. Here we go. Head coach, tell them your name.
How are you? I'm Patrick Zender, head coach, Bethel Park Baseball.
Congratulations again. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You proved my Nostradamus pick. Two Pete, back to back, and I want them to play Back in Black from AC/DC. I've
That's
been
right.
playing it at home just for you guys. I'm in Bethel Park, Bethel Church, so
That's
it's been playing.
Oh, that's neat.
So
Thanks for your
I-
support, too, and
I-
for the prognostication that you had in naming us. So keep it coming, too, please.
Okay, I won't, no further ado. Three Pete. It's for sure. They'll tell you the reasons like pitching and hitting and certain guys coming back. We'll get into details. Not that I know that stuff.
That's right, yeah.
I'm just the talking head here. So
No, you know it, too.
We'll carry on. Well, I see it, and I go by the eye test in almost everything that I do. And I'm just proud of the hard work coaches have done, players have done. They exceeded my expectations with how the game started, and we'll get into that. Coach, what was your thought? I know you went through rituals and stuff. We talked about that in the other day of the game.
Right.
And thank you for sharing all that.
Thanks for coming.
No, I
great to
believe
have you
it.
along.
I'm glad we could present that because wasn't that cool?
Really neat, and that was, a 45-minute basically documentary on the state championship run, having these guys getting interviewed before the game and even getting interviewed after the game. You interviewing parents during the game. It gave us some really cool perspectives that as coaches and players we don't get to see. So thank you for doing that. That was really.
You're
I've
welcome.
watched it 2 or 3 times. I'm probably going to watch when I get home tonight.
Thank you. Boost those likes.
That's
up.
right, yeah.
Bo knows.
That's it. This guy, he knows how important that is.
No,
Yes, sir.
no doubt about it. And that field was so great. Great venue. Great people there.
Oh, any excuse. I'm a big Penn State fan. My dad went there, and so
I didn't know.
any excuse to go up to Penn State is a great thing. And now I have a couple more reasons to really appreciate the atmosphere there. Even going to football games, I would always stop into the baseball stadium and go to a secret concession stand
Sure.
they have in there. So to
Well,
be able
you're
to
a
actually be on
baseball
the field,
guy.
any excuse to go to a nice field like that is great, and then to be on it and to watch these great guys in action 2 years in a row. What an honor! I'm very
and
thankful.
here's the great thing. Mark Beyer, I interviewed him, and he said there were 80 playoff games, and you guys were the best, and they saved it for last. So I respect that. So it was 80 games. Then he told me this. You're the last guys to play in that stadium with that field, scoreboard and everything. That's it.
Yeah, they're redoing the whole field, I guess, huh?
The whole field, scoreboards, everything.
Wow.
And didn't it look great?
Oh, yeah. I
We
love
take
that
it
place.
right here.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't wait to see. Hopefully, we can get back there next year to see what it's like when they redo everything.
You already
huh?
got the.
That's
the
true. It's happy
repeat.
to speak
And
it into existence.
In case you didn't notice, we got both trophies here. I'm honored to have trophies because I'm all about the winners. I appreciate. I went to KO. We didn't win much there, but we did win some games. So to see champions on my desk here, it's quite the honor.
No, it's an honor to be here, an honor to coach these guys and to coach with these guys too. We're very fortunate.
Let me go to the beginning of the year. What was your thoughts for the team? And you got 2 new coaches. Just introduce them so we can get their names out.
Sure,
there.
yeah. Coach Jared King and Coach Tyler Dillinger, both are actually teachers around the area. Jared actually teaches in the school district, so very fortunate to have educators
I'll ask
on
him
staff
a couple
as well.
questions
Please
then.
do, yeah. And
Both of them.
And it just coming from their perspective too. I mean, being being new assistant coaches on a team that won the state championship the year prior,
Sure.
it's probably a different experience coming into something like that. And boy, did they come in and we didn't miss a beat as a team. And if anything, they raised our level. The experience that these guys have, both coaching and playing, really helped us. And the fact that they're educators, not only are they good ball players and know the game, but they can teach it too, which is really important. And
it came across because I watch people,
Good.
and I saw these coaches just interacting from the minute we got there with you players. Whether you liked it or not, they were interacting with you.
Sure.
And I know they gave you some great guidance.
Oh yeah, their ability to teach the game, they know the game so well, but I think an underrated aspect is, there's a lot of guys who know the game and played it well, but to be able to actually instruct and instill skills in players so that when they're in big games, they don't have to rely too much on us. It's more just relying on the information that they've gained over the last few practices.
Well, I'll co-sign that. I knew a lot of great natural athletes. I wasn't. I had to work hard for everything I did,
Sure.
and became good doing it. And I found out a lot of these guys couldn't tell you why they swung at a pitch, why they caught a ball, why they threw a fastball, slider, whatever it was. They couldn't tell you that. I could, because I learned from not being able to do it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And hours of practice, like today, they limit you on what you can pitch and all that. I practice 5 times a week for hours, 2-3 hours. I didn't know what it was like to have a sore arm.
Yeah, it was just sore all the time.
Yeah. No, I just thought that was part of the process.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's why I appreciate the hard work.
Absolutely. And then these guys, the hard work they've put in all season long, and even from a player's perspective, when you're coming off of a championship season, there's an added pressure that comes with it, where when you have a lot of guys coming back, people are just like, oh, you guys are just going to go back to the state championship, are you?
No.
There's a lot of work that goes into it, and while even if you have a lot of guys back, it's not the same team. It's not the same chemistry.
No.
And these guys did such a great job as leaders, not letting us fall through the cracks or fall down after.
You had
we
a great
lose.
chemistry last year.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
you have it again this year.
Different type of chemistry, but it was still great, if not better than what we had last year. So it's just neat how it works out, where
Right.
there's so many worries at the beginning of the year, but with great guys like this, it works out.
Look at the adversity you had against a good pitcher.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's not always, who the best team is. Sometimes it's a break here and there. But when you're going against them, how do you stay in the game?
Sure.
And that's what you guys provided that I appreciate, because I watched the whole game. I couldn't do anything. They wouldn't let me talk for hours. So I had to sit up there and watch.
Oh, I appreciate
and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the strikeouts, the hits, the fielding, the home run.
Absolutely.
Taking advantage of throws and positions of players on the field to get a base.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
guess what? I know you guys guided them.
That's it. Yeah.
You too.
Oh, no, thanks. And these guys have such high baseball IQ, and when you have a guy on the mound that's throwing like him and guys like this playing great defense
We're going to
behind
get
him
to
and
his
everything.
pitching, because that's my forte.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you guys can talk
And guess
shop up
what?
there.
Guess what? In the beginning, when I interviewed him, I asked him what his best pitch was. I would always say a fastball because my catcher's hand would bleed. And it's
That's pretty
a fact.
good. That's pretty
yeah.
good.
He told me, no disrespect, a changeup.
Yeah, hey, and a changeup could be one of the best pitches in the game if you can throw it
And
well.
guess what, Pitch? I saw it. I
That's
salute you.
Game respects game right there.
But I didn't doubt you when you told me that, because I believe you were straight up with me, and you didn't even smile then, so I appreciate that.
No, yeah, he's serious.
And his dad was, wow, he's strong out there for his son.
Oh, yeah.
He was great. I'm glad I could interview his great
That
dad.
was really neat. I'm sure I got a neat perspective with Evan to see how how his dad talks about him before.
Your
that
dad
type
was
of game.
so into the game. I won't talk about the 10 or 15 minute discussion I had to try to get to talk to him about you. I'm like, you're proud of him, aren't you? Give me the mic.
Oh, yeah, right. He was probably had a routine, too. He didn't want to do anything out of the ordinary, but with a guy like that, it doesn't matter what you do, I don't think.
Well, I'm a natural rule breaker. If there's rules, I break them. Except one thing, playing baseball, you can't step on the white line.
That's right. Very good.
That's the one thing I never did. A couple times I almost had a trip, because you're talking to somebody
Absolutely.
or moving by.
You gotta respect
But you
it.
don't step on the white line.
Amen.
I won't talk about equipment and other things and what you wear. Never
Right.
mind.
No, I agree.
So, but no, it's part of it.
Absolutely.
No, you did well. How did the season start out for you?
Pretty well. The guys did a great job. We beat some pretty good teams early in the season, and when you have those expectations, I think it's important to have a strong start just to kind of get off on the right foot. And then, about a third of the way through the season. We tripped up a little bit against Peters Township.
Okay.
Lost a couple tough games against them. But again, these guys could have kind of gone one of two ways from there. Either just say, hey, maybe it's not our year this year, or you know what, we're going to work even harder and prove that.
And they did.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they did. And the mental toughness, the perseverance of this team is just off the charts.
I'll steal a hockey phrase. The grittiness of your team
That's it. That's a good
is
word.
obvious. And I mix metaphors with sports because why not? We
Sure.
all watch them.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't watch more than one sport? Any of you guys just one sport?
That's it, right?
You're just one? Okay, just checking. I know he can handle it.
Oh, yeah, right. And that's a perfect word, grittiness. I mean, nothing affects these guys. They could be up by 6 or down by 6. They're just going to keep playing their game, and they have the confidence and talent where they know if they do what they can do, not many other teams can match up with us. So that
And
helps.
I'll give another hockey metaphor again. With the Penguins, rarely do you see a team turn a switch on. When their players were more in their prime, you could see it happen. Now not as much because guess what? They're in their mid-30s. That's old to you guys. I'm ancient, but that's another story.
Yeah, right.
But you guys could turn it on. When you got the home run from Geddes, I just saw a door and like a breath of fresh air. You guys were pumped up. And then I saw everybody trying extra. And then my man Bo wasn't doing well at the plate. But then I watched him in the field, and I was a pitcher, and I had players that make errors like crazy. He had a bouncing ball that was bouncing high, and I know he was as tense as could be. And I go, if he doesn't run up, he got this. And I'm just sitting there watching. He waited and made a great play.
Had to be quick with it. And we talk about that all the time. These guys, you know, if you aren't 4 for 4 at the plate, how else can you help out the team? And these guys are so mature and have played so many big games where they're good at not allowing an at bat to filter into the field. If anything,
Sure.
if they didn't get a hit their previous at bat, they're even working even harder out on the field. So
Like my dad always taught me, what do you do next?
right, yeah. How can you control what's about to happen? Not
Right.
worry about what just happened.
And that's the coaching. That's why they're stellar, no doubt. And then I got to quote my dad because he's a legendary guy. In basketball, he always said, you need the horses to win.
Amen.
Not every team wins, but you got to have the horses to win. Guess
Absolutely.
what, coaches and players? You were the horses.
We got horses here. That's
You
right.
got it. You did it, and you did well. I'm just so proud. I can't stop smiling here.
Thank you.
It's
Me
great
either.
to have you on. So you overcame it, and then what happened at the end of the season? You didn't get a championship there.
Right.
I just wanted to bring that up
Oh,
because it compares
Sure.
to what we had
Oh,
last
absolutely.
year.
And that absolutely is one of our huge goals. We want to win that WPIAL championship.
And I predicted that, and I was wrong.
Hey, you got the big one right. You got the ultimate one right.
PIAA.
Yeah. But you know
5A.
that I just felt like we weren't able to bring our best game for whatever reason. In the game of baseball, sometimes you're going to have it, and sometimes you aren't. And even when we don't have it, we're usually good enough to do enough to get that win across. And we did that for the first 2 rounds. And Evan threw a great game in the quarterfinal to be able to get us to the semifinal.
I
to
heard
qualify.
about that game.
Yeah, and then in the
I
semi,
heard he threw too much to pitch in the final.
right? He tell
What's
you what,
up with that?
I don't know if there's if we'd be able to keep him off the mound in the final. I'll tell you right now.
I wanted to hear that.
He'd be fighting us if we tried to pull him off that mound.
Well, he's a big guy. How tall is he?
6'3". Yeah,
I look up to him.
Yeah, he's a tall guy and an imposing presence out on the mound. But yeah, in the semi, we just weren't able to scrap any runs across. West Allegheny is an unbelievable team
Right.
and had an unbelievable
They're like
run.
a factory up there.
Absolutely,
I'll just
yeah.
share that.
Oh, that's a great program, and a program that I like to model a lot of stuff after as well. I have a lot of respect for their head coach, Brian Cornell, and
Oh, yeah. I've heard about him over the
absolutely.
years, yes.
And they were able to beat an unbelievable Peters Township team in the Whitfield Championship, and we were able to get another crack at them in the state playoffs, and we're able to.
And look what happened.
And Evan was on the mound and threw another 3-hit shutout against West Allegheny in the quarters to give us that push, and that was really, I think, the game that really helped this
Well,
team.
you know,
believe that they could do
momentum
it.
comes in streaks.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if that gives you the momentum to get to the next one, who knows what will happen?
Right.
But you're in it.
Just survive and advance, right?
Yeah, no, that's great. Great stuff, Coach.
Thank you, yeah.
Pass it on to the new guy. Absolutely. What do you teach first, Coach?
8th grade health.
Wow, I got to
Independence
give you
Middle
all the
School.
credit in the world. 8th grade and health in this era?
Yeah, it's
God bless you.
It's like Forrest Gump said, man. You never know what you're gonna get. But
Do you bring the box of chocolates in?
I should. I'm gonna. Have
I recommend that highly.
I'm gonna have to now. But Jared King, this is my second year in Bethel, first year coaching with Coach Zender and Coach Dillinger.
Congrats to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's my 6th year coaching. I was a head coach down in Virginia for 5 years.
We're at in Virginia.
Southern Virginia, Pulaski County.
Never heard of it.
It's not very south.
My son was in the Navy in Norfolk, so
Sure.
that's about what I know.
Opposite side of the state.
That's what I need to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, so my now wife and I moved here right a little bit before COVID.
Why did you come here?
Chased her.
A Pittsburgh girl.
That's right. So
Welcome aboard.
yeah.
I've been born here, and I'll probably die here, but not today.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
have to share that.
So-
Thank you. I'm not an ugly Steeler fan. I don't care who you like. I didn't play for him. I just watched them win 6 Super
I
Bowls.
was going to say, I don't have much choice. I've learned that much, but
You
no,
aren't going to.
But we're, I was very fortunate when I started teaching first in Bethel. The athletics director, Dan Sloan, made it.
I met him. What a great guy. Heard so
Phenomenal.
many good things. He exceeded my expectations.
For sure.
And that's a quote.
He, all credit to him. The very first day of convocation this past year, he put me in contact with Coach Zender and said, hey, you're a baseball guy. Like, let's see if it can work out. And, fortunately, I was able to find a contracted position in the district, and that gave me the schedule to be able to commit
Where
to
did you
this.
grow up at?
Down in Virginia.
And what did you play? Baseball?
I played baseball. I played basketball, golf.
Everything.
Everything.
You were a good athlete. You got nice size.
Fortunate to play a lot of sports as a young kid.
Played at the University of Virginia as well.
Played college baseball at
Nice.
the University of Virginia.
Thanks for dropping that in, Patrick.
I didn't want him to have to say. I'll say it.
Well, I find that most people don't like to talk about themselves that much. Even me. I don't stop talking, but I rarely talk about me.
Sure.
Just some different things. So I respect that.
Well, and I think that a lot of that is why we've had such success this season.
And that's my point to all this.
Right. Coach Zender is. I've been around a lot of coaches. I mean, he is the most humble head coach I think that I've ever been around, and I think
What a compliment.
that's emulated in his players. These guys see a guy who's very selfless, which in today's world is uncommon.
Amen.
And I think it bleeds down into our games. And I'm not saying that that's you said earlier we have horses. We have very, very good players.
Yes. Glad I could bring that out for you,
for
Coach.
sure. But also they have a lot of those qualities from their head coach, and I think that's a big reason that this year has gone the way it has.
Well, like I shared with you, coaches' values and stuff, I recommend everybody put their kids in sports, even if they're not good, because they'll learn what it takes to be on a team, hence work for companies themselves or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
You learn things. I have in my careers.
Sure.
So you're spot on with
Yeah.
what you're saying. I appreciate that.
And I think baseball, maybe even more than any other, like I said, I played a lot of sports. Baseball, more than any of them, you can do everything that you think is right and not get a great outcome all the time. Like Coach Zender mentioned, in the 4 games that we lost this year, we played really good in
Right.
most of those games, and we didn't get the win. But it's not because there's a lot of reasons that you win and lose
Well,
baseball
in
games.
sports, it's a metaphor, 110%. These guys give 110% no matter what. I know they'll run for brick walls through you. They did in here to get here. They ran
Sure.
through 2 doors, maybe 3.
Sure.
They didn't know the studio, but they found it.
not.
So I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see that happen, what do you do? In this day and age, I see so many attaboy, attagirl kids, they cry. Because I coached in T-ball, little pony league and stuff, and kids were crying when they struck out and they lost the game. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Sure.
And I looked around at the parents. Sorry, parents, if I know you, but that does happen.
Sure.
And
it's,
I didn't want my kids to be that way.
Well, and like I said, baseball it's so mentally challenging in that respect because, you can go up there. I mean, these guys, they all hit all season. It's probably some of the hardest balls that these guys put in play this year did not result in hits.
I
and that can be
understand.
really difficult for a young player especially. But these guys, and that's what I'll say it forever about this team. I mean, their poise that this team had to be able to take the positives from those negatives.
Yes.
To make someone like Evan to make a great pitch and still give up a hit, but say, okay, that's a great pitch. I can make an adjustment. Someone like Dave, who's a great defender, he might make a poor read and still make an out, but say, hey, I still need to get better at that. These guys, Coach mentioned their IQ. That's, I think, the difference.
We'll just talk sports IQ right now. I'm not asking about education
They're
yet.
book smart too.
I don't want to put them on the spot because a lot of kids tell me they don't like school, but these guys are scholars, so I know that.
Yeah, and I think that's just those things like, baseball is so hard in itself. Like these guys have had such an ability to take the important parts of their games and really elevate each other. And obviously that's one of the intangibles, I think, this
right.
This
and the other
group
thing
had.
is when you're on a team, it's truly a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the greatest pitcher like your pitcher Evan is, but what about if Bo makes that error?
Sure.
What about if Dave doesn't make a hit or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? And I don't know your name.
Dylan, yeah, he's a
Dylan.
great outfielder, but yeah, what if he doesn't make the cut?
Yeah.
You're going to respond.
Well, and
Right.
I can
And that's what I'm saying. Guess what you learn? What am I going to do to help my brother in the field out?
I can give you a specific example, and you guys will remember.
All
this
right, lay it
fondly.
on me. I'm glad I piqued your interest.
Early in the year, Evan's on the mound. And,
Again.
And there's a ball. I don't remember exactly who the team was, but there was a ball put into the outfield that was, we would call it like a tweener. Like a
I
ball
gotcha.
that maybe could be caught, maybe not.
Understand.
And Dylan is in center field and doesn't.
Is he in deep center or what?
Kind of.
I'm just checking.
It's one of those where could he
I'm
catch
trying
it?
to build suspense.
365 feet
Yeah.
out there, probably. Right.
Could he catch it? Maybe.
I gotcha.
But he ultimately didn't. Did it affect the game? I don't recall. But the reason I'm bringing that story up and those other intangibles is after the inning, Evan brought Schmoody aside and just said, "Hey, go try and catch it. I don't care if you don't, but go try," because he believed in him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's those.
I get it.
That's those things that when we talk about like this group being very, for each other and caring about each other,
And the IQ of being sports guys.
and just saying, hey, like, don't be afraid to fail. I don't care if you don't catch it, but go try. Don't be scared to go make a play. And I think that was one of those things that, across the board, all these guys are great defenders because they believe in each other, that they can go try and even if they fail.
That's
they
a great
pick each
story and
other
great
up.
observation.
Yeah,
And in this day and age, that can get missed.
for sure. We play,
And that's what I respect, the old school aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Like Coach said, we played against teams that on paper probably had better players, guys that were going to maybe higher touted schools.
Sure.
These guys, I would put them up against anybody because they will lay it on the line for each other, and that's really special, especially in high school baseball.
They showed me those first few innings. I was shaking my head. I go, "What are we seeing here?"
Mm-hmm.
No offense. I was wondering.
Yeah.
No, thank you for your insights. We're going to pass the mic to the next coach teacher. Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name's Tyler Dillinger. I'm assistant coach here. I live in Bethel Park.
Nice.
I was at the Yawk School District for 9 years as a history teacher.
You know I ask questions. Thanks for saving my breath.
I'm an administrator in the McKeesport School District now.
Guess what? My mother's family was from East McKeesport when it was livable.
Yeah.
And, I knew we lived up that way, and it just went downhill since.
Born and raised from there. But
And I had my uncle, Harry LeWinter, taught at McKeesport High for 30-some years.
Okay.
So I have respect for where you came from, definitely. We didn't know we'd have a connection like that, right?
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't. But
I know a few people, so that worked out well. And you played baseball?
Yeah, I played at Bethany College. Coach.
I got
played it.
recruited there. One of my best friends, Chuck Grosso, became a superstar at Bethany. I think his plaque is on the wall there with being a safety. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got connection. Name some other. You guys pick a place. Yeah, test me. You can test me. I'm ready. I take all challenges, even if I'm wrong. No. So you were at Bethany.
Yeah, and I all 4 years, Coach Pat was at Westminster, and we played against each other.
I got recruited from them too.
They recruit the same all the time.
Something else like Coach Dillinger once said, I believe he's the all-time hit leader at Bethany College.
I wanted that to
Pretty cool,
come
too.
out
Yeah,
because
there you go.
he's just a humble guy.
Yeah, you won't say it. I'll say it for him. I was not the all-time hit leader at Westminster, in case you want to ask that. But.
I was thinking of it, but I remembered you're humble. I didn't want to put you on the spot, Coach. Stay humble.
Thank you.
Carry on, leading hitter.
Hey.
Oh, did that slip out? I was thinking that.
I coach
So you know some stuff about baseball.
maybe a little bit.
And what do you teach?
History,
I love history. Let's go.
middle school and high school. And then,
I read history books every day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We'll talk Egypt, pyramids, ancient history,
Off air,
modern
maybe, or a
history.
different segment, non-sports line.
Well, definitely.
I
And
coached
sports.
baseball at Set for 7 years at York, and then took a year off. During that COVID year, I emailed
Understand.
Coach Pat. I really wanted to get back into it, and I live in the community.
How long have you lived in Bethel?
5 years now.
Ah, good for you.
My wife and my son, and then so hopefully, Pat has maybe a starting shortstop coming in like 2038, maybe.
Wait, how old is your son? 8 years, 6 years?
So I figured by that time at this pace he'll be on. We'll give him 10 of these maybe. That would
Well,
be
Coach,
awesome.
I already like you with history, all-time hit leader, and math. 38 is right. Yeah, you covered all
We've
bases.
thought of this already.
What did you teach these guys? You already taught me some stuff.
He's unbelievable, right?
I know.
And I sent Coach an email asking if they had any openings, and
He said, for
luckily-
you?
Luckily, at that point in time, he did. The difficult part was that I knew I was coming into a state championship program, and
What were your
I-
thoughts about that?
Well, I know, and I said it, when we first spoke, that, there are a lot of coaches that and Jared sort of touched on this, like they're stuck in their way. This is the way we do things here.
Sure.
And maybe adding other voices after a run like that is something that they don't want to do, and I would have understood that.
Here, I'll
but-
make it simple for you. People like this box. You have to do everything in the box. I'm so far outside the box, I don't know where the box is. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's how simple. And you can copy these lines.
That's good.
These lines are simple. You don't know where the box is. Bo and I have talked about that.
And there are some things that Pat has that are pretty rigid for the program. Some expectations of the players and
Well,
what
I
he
would
asks
hope
for
so.
them.
Like yes and no are two good things that you have to tell people.
Yeah, but a big part of it, is just the culture of player empowerment that he gives them. I can't.
Well, you have leeways. You're talking about different leeways. And I'm talking about in general in life when people are so rigid that this is the only way to do it. Like these 4 young men could tell you 4 different ways to go to South Hills Village.
Mm-hmm.
That's how simple I'm thinking.
Yeah, and just the open communication that our players get from the leader of our program.
Well, I can see why.
Constantly.
I'm interested in talking with you guys now after this. History.
It's a lot of the time. It's hey, here's sort of what we have an idea for practice. Like, what do you guys need?
How can we make you better?
Exactly. It's all the time, and sometimes it's to the whole team. A lot of the times it's just with the captains. Hey, we don't have a great pulse on what's going on in the dugout right now. Can you guys give us a little insight? And that's really his way to stay in touch with what's going on and make sure that we're continuing to push forward.
Well, let me add this thing in there. When you got puberty and emotional ups and downs, you're going to have good and bad days when you don't expect it. And it's how do you deal with that, let alone how these guys deal with it. They don't know why they're raging and yelling at you. And then they're apologizing. So how do we deal with that, right? So it's just part of putting the whole thing. That's why I'm so proud that you guys did this back to back. And 30 years from now, you can do the math on that. When you guys look back on it, look what you accomplished. Back to back. First to ever do it. That's the other thing. Last to do it on the field, you got a trifecta. I mean, nobody can challenge you on that. I'm just blowing some smoke, but it's all good. Think about that.
Very cool.
No, that is great. No, Coach, thanks. We're going to start hitting Captain Bo. You can just hold the mic and be humble, and we're good. You just keep doing that. Yeah, I won't ask you another question till the end.
Good. Thank you.
All right, tell us your name.
I'm Bo Conrad.
Is your dad James Conrad II?
Yes, that
Okay.
is. I guess my real name's James. James Leroy Conrad III.
I just had to hear that because I know why you're named Bo.
Jimbo.
And they took the Jim off and called you Bo.
Exactly. That and my
See?
mom like Bo Jackson. So
I did
stuff.
too. One of the greatest athletes. Oh, we digress. We're talking about Bethel Park boys baseball, captain of the baseball team. What are you thinking there, buddy?
I don't know. I mean, this season, I know against Peters and everything, like I know we all got worried at one point that it was over. We got our experience. There was not going to be a dog pile again at the end of the year. I mean,
It was a great dog pile. Sorry I missed it, but I didn't want to dive in.
It was a
no
good one.
offense, but that was raucous.
it was a
Look
good
that
one.
word up.
I know we sat the team down and we just
Heart to
laid it
heart.
on them that we got to go 100%, that we weren't going 100% at that moment.
Wow.
And from that point on, it was 110%, get ready to go at practice. And I mean, we were there early and we were getting ready to go early. And I think ultimately when you put in that extra work like we were doing, we got that second dog pile that we wanted.
No, it was just a great feeling, great to see it. Glad we could film it right in the middle of it. So you guys were great. You're one of the horses. I got 4 horsemen here. Look up that in history, what 4 horsemen are. Bringing out history here, sports history guy. Anything else you want to say? You want to say, I always have you say hi to your parents and sisters and brothers, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Ghost Quest, same channel. Saturday.
It is a good show. It is a good
If
show.
he's not promoting, he's not a friend of mine. So, pass that darn mic. Give me that outfielder. Tell us your name.
I'm Dylan Schmoody. I play center field for the Blackhawks.
And how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you? How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Beautiful sunny day, and I'm with talking to people that are doing great and successful winners in my hometown of Bethel Park. And I'm glad you're doing well. What'd you think of this season?
I felt like we played really well this season. Our bats came alive in the second half.
And the second half of the game.
Yep. The 2 games against Peters were like our worst games of the year.
What were your thoughts about that?
Personally, I didn't play too well those games.
Okay.
But
We can accept that. I make mistakes every day. I just don't brag about them. You're allowed to have bad games, but what did you do after that?
I turned it around pretty well. My bat started to go.
It comes and goes. You know what? I tell people, you know why baseball's so great? Guys in the Hall of Fame fail 70% of the time, and they're Hall of Famers. Think about that for a minute. Can you have a job and be wrong 70% of the time? Well, don't count weathermen and weatherwomen, okay? 100%, they're good. But in baseball, look what you do, and you're successful. You hit 300, it's a great season. You hit under the Mendoza line, you suck. Sorry. I grew up with Mendoza. But
Another
no,
thing for Dylan that he won't say it, I'll say it for him. His first year as a varsity starter, he was first team all section in a very big, very loaded outfield.
I
in,
knew he
Sour
was a
section
low-key, modest guy because humble seems to be the routine. No, thanks for adding that, Coach, and I appreciate you. Thanks for being honest on the Pittsburgh Sports Line. We appreciate that. Pass that to the pitcher. I need to talk to the pitcher.
All right, I'm Evan Holowinski. I'm the starting pitcher for Bethel.
And what's your best pitch still?
Change up.
You know what? You proved it to me. I respect it. Your pitching was fantastic.
Thank you.
You gave them, the other horses, the opportunity to win the game for all of you. So I appreciate that and the hard work you do and the support of your dad. Your dad had me pumped up how focused he was when you were pitching. I stopped talking, just so you know. And it was great. What were you thinking during the game? Like after the first inning and the butterflies are gone, what were you thinking?
I mean, I knew we had the experience going into the game. And
You were confident?
yeah, I'd say we were way more confident this year than last year.
Really?
Yeah, just going into it knowing that we've done it before, knowing we could do it again.
You know what? You guys look like it. You know, they talk about some swag, and there was swagoo on the field. I could see it.
And then once Cody hit the home run, that was like our lifting point, I think. And it was like coming alive that we had 3 innings left to play together, and it was all or nothing at that point.
So you were thinking about that?
For sure.
No doubt. I love your style. No, thanks for sharing that. You want to say hi to anybody or?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
All right. Tell us your name.
My name is David Kessler, and I play shortstop for Bethel Park.
Understand. What were your thoughts during the game? I'm digging deep here, so I know you're a deep thinker, so lay it on me.
During the game, I had a ton of confidence coming in, but I knew we were going to face a tough team, and their pitcher was one of the best I think we faced all year. But I knew.
Oh, no doubt. He was proving it.
Yeah, for sure. And
your first time at bat, what was your thought? Because I watched you during your bat. You looked very confident up there.
Yeah, I felt good. And the whole playoff stretch, I was seeing the ball well, so I just stepped in there knowing what I can do, and didn't result in a hit, but I felt confident even after the out.
Right. You weren't giving up.
Exactly.
You were confident.
Yeah.
No doubt. You made some nice plays in the field. You got some good range and a good arm in my scouting report.
Thank you.
How'd I do on that?
Pretty good.
Okay. I watch some baseball. I don't just talk about it.
Yeah.
What did you feel after the home run? Because that lifted all of you up.
Yeah.
I saw you guys were above the dugout. It was unreal.
Yeah, after the home run, that was probably the peak of the game for all of us. And
it opened the gate in my book.
Yeah, I could just tell by Selinsgrove faces in the field after the home run. They're like, it's going to be a challenge to come back.
And Corey
now.
looked like he was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
When he hit that. He was. Even after he got bopped with one of these trophies, I wanted to interview him, and he's bleeding. Oh, yeah. I go, what happened? I got hit with the trophy. I go, it was worth it.
It was.
No doubt. And you were just amazed with the other team with how they were and how they were treating you, right?
Yeah.
But you overcame it.
Yeah.
What happened there? What'd you do next? Didn't you have a hit?
Yeah, I did.
I saw it. I wanted to bring that up. Didn't want you to just tell me he struck out or got out or whatever.
Yeah, and
what was that thought process?
Actually, before the at-bat, I talked to my dad, and he told me, this pitcher's good. You're doing nothing wrong. Just keep doing what you're doing. And that's all I needed just to prove that.
That's a great dad.
I had to be better at that point, and went up and got a hit and ended up scoring after that.
No, I was going to say, yeah, we can't let that go.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, it was good. You came through.
Yeah.
And I was proud even of Ray, the DH.
Yeah.
You know, he came through and even took an extra base when they were goofing around out there.
Yeah.
I was pumped up sitting there. That action and the energy you all had was great. You're one of those strong 4 horses there.
Thank you.
No. Where are you going next?
IUP to play baseball.
Oh, good. Hey, pass the mic to Evan. Are you a junior?
I'm a junior.
Okay, we'll see you back again. Pass it to Dylan.
I'm a senior, and I'm going to play at St. Vincent College in Latrobe.
Hey, that's legendary there.
I'm going to play baseball and study petroleum engineering at Marietta College.
That's great. Hey, I just talked to a guy that does wiffle ball champions locally. He's doing it at Highmark Ball Field on Saturday, wiffle ball. And he's a guy, Jacob Davies, his name. He went to Marietta. I just talked to him. This is a small world. I didn't know.
Lots of connections.
Yeah, no, it's out of control. Hey, I want to thank all of you, special to the players. Evan, we'll talk again next year. The rest of you, I wish you the best of luck in college and carry on. Know plenty of people that went to IUP. Marietta, one of my friends had a girl that was a rowing champion, traveled the country. So it's a great school. And good luck at St. Vincent's. We all know about that. You know we're Steeler fans, black and gold. We can't help it. Coach, thank you. Continued success. I appreciate it. Coach, it's so nice to meet you. And this is, again, the special edition of Back-to-Back Blackhawks Baseball 5A champions. Going for the three-peat next year. Al Levine, the Talking Machine, predicts it. Thank you for watching the show. Love you guys. Continued success.
Thanks.
See you later.